So this video is about my everyday carry of May 2025. And before we go into everything that is inside this bag, let's cover this bag first. This is the Tactical Geek Cash L3S, so the smallest of their sling bag collection, with a capacity of 1.8 liter and a feature layout that in the beginning I was perceiving as very minimalistic became one of my favorites. I really like this minimalistic layout. So again, before going inside this bag and what I carried as an everyday carry, let's talk a little bit about this bag. 1.8 liters in capacity, and overall I would say somewhat of a military appeal. I don't really mind this because while it is looking military with some of the moly applications, I still feel like, okay, this design is not too military that I feel uncomfortable. For you, just as an explanation, I don't really like the military appeal. In the beginning of this YouTube channel, I really liked that, but over time, I really felt that it wasn't or isn't as suitable in an office environment, for example, or when I'm going to a business meeting or whatever. So I kind of went away from liking the military look, but with this, I feel like this is somewhat on the edge of looking to military, but to some degree looking more, let's say, urban and not as aggressive, let's say it that way. You have some Velcro points here where you can attach patches. I have a couple of patches for my Patreon and my YKT originals. I didn't want to pack them on here because I wanted to have it as minimal as possible, but if you want to attach patches, you have the option to do so. With the moly, you also have the option to attach additional pouches, but then again, it would get bulky. And what I do really like about this, it is so minimal, not only in feature set but also in terms of looks and in terms of how it feels, because the way this is designed with this minimal and therefore somewhat slim form factor, and I put this in air quotes because this is not slim in terms of physical dimension, but in terms of when this slides underneath my armpits while I'm walking, it is not as bulky and bumps against my arm. Therefore, I really like this somewhat slim form factor. When I did my Western Rise Tech Sling Tech Pouch review, I believe that was somewhat mistaken where I said this is slim, but it wasn't really slim. I just meant that when it slides underneath your arm while you're walking, you don't perceive it as getting in your way because it would kind of bulk out too much, and that is the same way with this pouch. Continuing with minimal, you only have one zippered compartment on the outside, one somewhat hidden compartment in the back, and one very simplistic main compartment that only has 3 extra slots to organize some of your items. But this minimalism, in the beginning I thought, I would love to have some compartments, but then I noticed because there aren't that many compartments, I was able to fit so many items inside, and despite, in air quotes, only having 1.8 liters in capacity, I fitted so many items in here and was very surprised that because there aren't any extra pouches, I was able to fit so much in here. So that is why I enjoyed using this so much. The build quality, because this has some military style appeal, is very good. You have YKK AquaGuard dual zippers with really good zipper pulls, which makes using this bag so enjoyable. It is so easy to open this up with one hand and get to your items really fast, also to the front zippered compartment. The only compartment that is not that easy to get to is the one in the back that has a Velcro. I didn't use that pocket for that reason alone, but everything else is so high quality. So one feature that I really enjoy about the sling bag is that it has this elastic string on the bottom of the sling bag that is actually used for holding an umbrella, for example, or maybe a rather thin water bottle. But I can use it for storing the toy from my dog Woody when I'm walking him. And yeah, it is a really cool place to store that toy in that elastic at the bottom of that sling bag. As previously mentioned, on the bag itself there are MOLLE attachment points, and there are also MOLLE attachment points on the shoulder strap of this sling bag. While the shoulder strap is really beefy, and I usually don't like that on the shoulder strap because I want the bag to be as minimal as possible, I cannot deny that it makes A, the bag much more comfortable to carry around, and B, with the MOLLE attachment points on the shoulder straps, there are a couple of benefits. The first benefit is obviously that you can attach stuff to these MOLLE attachment points. The first, let's say, most essential item in my everyday carry, which is my camera. I use the Fuji X-M5 that I carry with me all of the time to take stills for my 365 stills project. That is my second Instagram channel. Check it out at the bow 365, and there I post pictures and stills that I shoot with this Fuji X-M5. This is a great camera that I attached with a Night Eyes S-binder that is lockable to the attachment points on this shoulder strap. Furthermore, as you can see here in this B-roll, I am able to attach the DJI Mic 2 to record my voice when I'm vlogging with this camera, which brings me to my second most important item of this EDC May 2025, which is the DJI Pocket 3. This is an amazing camera that allows me to record wherever I'm going, for example, like right now, walking my dog Woody. And this camera is amazing. I kind of pimped it up with a small little tripod attachment from Ulanzi, which makes this camera smaller and therefore fits much easier inside this 1.8 liter capacity sling bag. And to the contents that are inside, I will get in just a second. I just wanted to mention, don't forget, I will link all of the items in the description below. Those are affiliate links, and with those you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale. And if you support this channel that way, thank you very much. Speaking of walking and movement and fitness before going inside the main compartment, one piece of my everyday carry is still the Ultra Human Air fitness tracker that I carry now for a couple of months. And while I would say it's not necessarily the best tracker for me because I do boxing and Muay Thai and I cannot wear it while I'm working out because this will probably break the ring if I would box with this, I can say that I do like the statistics that this ring gives me in terms of sleep tracking, also cardio, fitness, health, then the fitness score, which kind of tells you how prepared you are for the day, which takes into account how well you slept, your fitness from the day before, your skin temperature, your resting heart rate, your HRV rate. All of that takes it into account to create this somewhat statistic or number, how fit you are basically, and how prepared you are for the day to do your workout and stuff like that. That is a score that I really enjoy with the Ultra Human Air ring. I utilize the Ultra Human Air ring in combination with my Samsung smartwatch because I use the vibration alarm on that smartwatch, and comparing both of the analytics of the ring and the smartwatch, they are pretty close together. So as I said, for me personally, I would say it's not the perfect tool, but because I also usually like to use a mechanical watch from time to time, it is really cool to still keep tracking with the smart ring whilst I'm not wearing my smartwatch, but I'm wearing a mechanical watch. So after a couple of months of use, I can say it is a cool little device to track all of your fitness and all of your health, your sleep, your heart rate and stuff like that, but it's probably very detailed and not necessarily for everyone. That being said, if you don't want to wear a smartwatch to track all of your fitness and health data, then I think the Ultra Human Air ring is a pretty cool device that you might want to check out. Alright, now let's talk about what's inside this bag, and I actually am pretty happy to talk about two of the items that somewhat saved my life yesterday, because my small tiny little smart car unfortunately wasn't starting up while I was hanging around on a parking space. I was getting some ice cream and it wouldn't start, so I had to call what we call here in Germany ADAC, which are some service technicians where you pay monthly and they come. But when you call them, it usually takes between 1 to 4 hours. So what to do in those hours is basically wait around on your phone, but also you need to be aware that they will call you. So you don't want to kind of deplete your battery. And unfortunately, my battery was almost depleted. So the first item on this list, which was extremely helpful, and I was really happy that this is part of my everyday carry, is the Nightcore NB Air 5000 mAh small little power bank. This one is so small and tiny that it is really easy to always carry with you because it is so slim. It fits everywhere, inside your pants pockets or in this case in my sling bag. And together with this small little flat USB-C to USB-C cable, also from Nightcore, this is the perfect combination to always have with you to keep your phone not completely fully charged, but at least have enough juice to kind of make sure that your phone won't die while you're waiting for the technician to kind of repair your car, right? So I was really happy that I was carrying this in my everyday carry, and I will continue carrying this. And yeah, this was literally a lifesaver yesterday. And then how do you kind of bridge the time gap, the waiting period, if you don't want to kind of mess around with your phone too much because you are waiting with your phone? My trusty little Anbernic RG35XX Plus retro gaming device. This device is so cool. I'm currently playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the GBA on this little retro device. This handheld is so cool. On one side, I started to carry this not only because I enjoy playing these games, but more importantly to kind of move myself away from the social media addiction. And whenever I have the urge to kind of unnecessarily scroll on Instagram or whatever, I rather pick up my small little handheld gaming device and play some retro games. At the moment, I'm all about these fighting games, either Streets of Rage on the Genesis or in this case Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the GBA. Both of those games I obviously bought. I have the original versions, so yeah, that is why I can play them on this little gaming device. And again, this one is so much fun. If you are into retro gaming, I can highly recommend this. You can play Game Boy, GBA, Super Nintendo, and up to Dreamcast and PlayStation 1. So Tony Hawk was one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 1, but I also play Crazy Taxi on the Sega Dreamcast. It's so much fun. I can highly recommend it. It is tiny, it is small to always carry around. The build quality is amazing. The battery life, again, yesterday waiting for the technician was amazing. I was playing around Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles while waiting. I can highly recommend this. And also, if you like retro gaming, please let me know in the comment section below which retro game are you playing at the moment and on which handheld device. I would really love to know. And next item in my everyday carry are obviously some earbuds. So all of my everyday carry needs some earbuds, and Woody and I have been now walking for about 15 to 20 minutes and I already start to get some discomfort. For those of you who don't know, I usually, when I have earbuds with Bluetooth in my ears, for some reason I get some discomfort, some mix between motion sickness, headaches, and just, yeah, feeling a little bit nauseous. This only happens with earbuds, and therefore my assumption always has been that if the Bluetooth transmitter or the Bluetooth receiver is very close to my ear canal, so for example with over-ear headsets, the noise cancelling headsets like the Sennheiser Ascentum that I've reviewed on my trip to Thailand, which you can see in the info tab above, I don't have any of those discomfort. Or for example, my biodynamic like Bluebird, where the Bluetooth technology is around your neck, I do not get any discomfort. In my last month's EDC, I had the AceFast AceFit Pro, which were over-ear open small earbuds, where the tech was like behind my ear loop and not really directly, like in this case, close to my ear canal. But they also had an open design. So I was under the assumption that, oh, maybe I don't get that nauseating feeling or that discomfort and that headache from the Bluetooth, but let's double check that, and maybe if I had some open ear design earbuds, maybe I don't get that discomfort. So I wanted to try these Sennheiser Accentum Open, which, just as the AceFast, are open ear earbuds, meaning you can basically listen to your music, but also hear everything that is going on around you, which is obviously great when you're walking your dog and just like I am now, close to the street, and you kind of want to keep track of your surroundings in order to stay safe. So my assumption was that maybe if I had some open ear earbuds, then this nauseating feeling wouldn't occur. However, unfortunately, I have been trying these out for a week, and every time right after about 15 minutes or so, I get this slight headache and this somewhat akin to motion sickness nauseating feeling. So of course I'm not a doctor, and all of this discomfort that I have is just based on my experience. So with the Apple AirPods, the Samsung earbuds, a couple of no-name earbuds which had a similar form factor, and now unfortunately with the Sennheiser Accentum Open. That is why I just want to say that this is not an issue with these earbuds. This is an issue with me, and I have no idea why that is. And that is why I'm really unhappy that I cannot use these. I was really hoping for that maybe this open ear design would be the solution, but it is definitely for me the tech if it's too close to my ear canal. No idea why that is, and this is not brand specific. And that is why I just want to recap the pros and some of the cons that I was noticing with these. So pros, the sound quality is amazing, just like with the other Sennheiser products that I own, which is the Accentum over-ear noise cancelling headphones, which are amazing. I used them on my trip to Thailand. So the sound quality of the Open is basically similar to the Accentum over-ears, so very good sound quality. And I also have the Sennheiser HD25, which are my editing but also my past DJ headphones. The sound quality always is great with the Sennheiser. The connection to my phone was also very stable and nothing to complain about. The feature of it being open ear works really good. So when you're walking your dog, when you're jogging, when you're commuting, I think it's really good to have some awareness of your surroundings. And with this open design, it really works well. You do notice everything that is going around you. The battery, I wasn't able to test that much, but I will give these to my wife and let her test them for a while, and then I will edit in her verdict about these. But other than that, I did not find anything bad or negative besides me having discomfort about this. The build quality is really good. I would say the case feels and looks a little bit plasticky. I have the feeling it is supposed to kind of look like this kind of bone kind of appearance in terms of color, but it just doesn't look that high quality as I would expect just from the case. The earbuds themselves look great in my humble opinion, but this is definitely not a pure white, but rather like this bone beigey kind of white, just for you to know. Alright, I just want to know the Sennheiser Accentum Open. How did you like the fit in your ears?
They fit perfectly to my ears. No, they fit perfectly for my ears. The other ones I tried before always fell off, so no matter what kind of movement I make, even if I shake my head like this, I mean, I'm not doing it very often, but even if, they still stick where they're supposed to be.
And obviously, this open ear design makes you listen to everything what's going on around you. So will you be able to notice the open ear design when you're walking your dog?
Yeah, that's a very nice feature for me, because especially when I'm out with the dog, I always make sure that I can hear everything around me, to pay attention on the dog and everything else. So this was a huge plus for me to realize that even if I'm on the phone or listening to music, that I can hear everything around me perfectly.
And speaking of music, how was the sound quality overall?
Music, phone calls, name it, everything was awesome. Even for the people on the other side of the phone, I asked them too, so they heard me like I was sitting next to them. So, thumbs up.
Speaking of thumbs up or thumbs down, anything bad or negative or anything particularly positive about these?
For now, I don't have anything negative to say, and the huge plus for me, especially as a woman, is the design. So as you can see here, this little gold part fits perfectly with my earrings and my jewelry, and I like the fact that it's an off-white and not a pure white. So I think it's not so obvious that you're wearing this gear, but they're still there. So nothing negative to say, I like them a lot.
And that was the verdict from my wife. So I would say, if you don't have this kind of discomfort with Bluetooth, and from what I can tell in the comment section, I'm basically the only one to kind of experience that kind of discomfort. But as I said, this is basically with every brand that I have tested that have this similar design where the earbud is very close to my ear canal. I don't know what it is. So you probably don't have that issue, and if you're looking for an AirPods kind of style but open ear design, then yeah, definitely check this out. And like always, I will link all of these items in the description below. Those are affiliate links. With those you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale, and if you do so, thank you very much. Again, Sennheiser is Centum Open. If you don't have that kind of discomfort, if you're walking your dog, if you're jogging, and if you want to be aware of your surroundings, yeah, I kind of like these if I wouldn't have that health issue. Okay, continuing with what's in this main compartment, obviously you always need a wallet. This month I'm using the Extra Wallet Pro that I already mentioned in the video. Cool, but no, that you can't see in the info tab above. There were a couple of things that I didn't like about this, where it was like, oh, I think it would be enough to go for the regular Extra Wallet, but I still want to use this for a longer period of time to kind of see how the leather will patina. Still, besides the Extra or the Extra Wallet Pro, I love these wallets for their cool little mechanism where the cards fan out with this small little button, and I do like that I can store some bills here. I have been using in the previous month the wallet without the leather. What I liked about that one was that it was much smaller than this one with the leather enclosing. However, it is really cool to have leather in your hand. It feels better, but obviously it's a little bit bulkier. It takes away some more space inside, and more importantly, the bills that I store inside that elastic are in air quotes protected from not unnecessarily kind of being pushed out of this elastic. And that's why I kind of like having this with the leather enclosing, but it is taking away much more space, obviously, inside any of your pockets. Next up, what do I have inside here as well? Obviously, some hand lotion and lip balm, because as I mentioned in the introduction, it is May, it is very cold again, unfortunately. At the bottom, I also already mentioned this, the DJI Pocket 3. I'm currently filming with the Fuji X-M5, so that is at the bottom of this bag, and all of the other items are just on top of it. In the front compartment, I store some fresh doggy bags when I walk my dog, and as previously mentioned, in the back panel with the Velcro, I don't store anything. Yeah, I don't know, I don't really like the Velcro, and more importantly, it is not Velcro that goes completely over the total opening, so there are some gaps left and right for items either to jump out or if it rains to kind of get wet. So I don't utilize that back pocket. But that's basically everything that I carry inside this main compartment. Alright, that was my everyday carry for May 2025. I hope you liked this video and all of the items that were inside this video. Also, let me know in the comment section below, what is your current EDC? As you know, I change it up every single month a little bit, some returning guests, some new guests, but what's your current EDC? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to check out my last month EDC, check out the video up here. And YouTube thinks that you liked the video down here, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. I see you in the next video. Thank you very much.